Hello everyone, welcome back to Simple Networkings. In this video, we are going to see how to configure the switch step-by-step configuration and the overview. So what we are going to cover in this video is what is switch, type of switches, type of frames. Then in the live demo, we are going to show you how to configure the switch in the simulation. So in that, what we are going to cover in the simulation is configuring the host name, enabling the password, creating the VLAN, assigning the name to that VLAN, creating the VLAN interface. Then we are creating the NTP server to sync the clock to the switches. Then we will see the SSS configuration. So we will look into the detailed way in the live demo. So let's jump into the video. What is switch? A switching is a networking device that connects the multiple computer networks together and transfers the data from one node to the another. And type of switches, so we have two type of switches. One is like managed switch, another one is unmanaged switch. So managed switch can provide the control over the network, and we can do the configuration based on the requirement, and we can manipulate the traffic. Unmanaged switch, we can simply say like a plug and play kind of a thing. So in this unmanaged switch, we cannot do any configuration. This switch generally uses a repeater, and we can simply plug and it will work. So no configuration is needed for this unmanaged switches. Managed switches will have two types. One is cloud managed switches, another one is on-premise network switches. This on-premise network switches generally using in the enterprise solutions like Catalyst families. Cloud managed switches using in the SD-WAN solutions like Cisco Meraki switches, we will call as this one. And if you like to more about Cisco Meraki, the video is available in our YouTube channel, and the link will be given in the description and the iCard. So types of layer, we have three types of layer. One is like core layer, distribution layer, and access layer. So core layer, also known as backbone, and it operates the high speed of networks. And the multi-layer switch will be work in this core layer. And distribution layer generally will work the layer 3 switches, and this layer serves as a communication between the access and the core layer. This access layer, we are using the layer 2 switches, and this layer generally will use to connect the end devices and the end users devices such as laptop, PC, computer, printer, IP phone, and etc. If I say the summary of this core distribution access difference, this core layer services as a high speed and backbone for the data transfer within this network. This distribution layer controls and route the data services. These access layers provide the network access to the end devices. We have two type of switches, L2 and L3 switches. How it is categorized is based on the OSI model. OSI model abbreviation is Open System Interconnection. Layer 2 switches we will see. Layer 2 switches operates as the data link layer of the OSI model. And the layer 2 switch will use the MAC address of connected devices to forward the data packets within the single networks. This layer 3 switches, this switch also known as a multi-layer switch, and this switch operates the network layer of the OSI model. This L3 switch will use the MAC address and IP address, and it is capable to route the traffic between two different networks or the subnet. This switch is layer 3 switch have capable to act as a router. If you say the difference between layer 2 and the layer 3 switch, this layer 2 switch can only switch the data traffic between two devices on the same network. But this L3 switches can route the packets of the data between different network as well as the performing the switching within the single network. And the L3 switch, we can configure the SVI, switched virtual interface. If you would like to know more about virtual interface, if you want to make a video, write your request in the comment box. We will try to make the video. There are three types of transmitting the frames in the switches: cut through, store and forward, and fragment free. So cut through is the when the packet start receiving, it forward the packet as soon as they receive the destination address. So the packets contain the destination address. So once it found the destination address, it start forwarding the frames. So store and forward is the one which we are using in the present switches. So store and forward is the switch receiving the entire packet before it start forwarding it. Then the switch checks the packet errors using CRC. CRC abbreviation is cyclic redundancy checks in the frames. If packet is error free, it will forward. Otherwise, it will discard. So how we can see this store and forward the CRC checks is so interface, then interface name. If you hit enter, so there we can see the error free. Fragment free. So fragment free is the hybrid one. It will work as a cut through and a store and forward. So this switch waits the first 64 bits. After that, the packet it will forward. You may think why it is taking first 64 bit, right? Because most of the error and the collision occurs during the first 64 bit. So that is the reason it is taking the first 64 bit. The once this is done, then immediately it's being forward the frames. Now we will see how to configure the switch from the scratch to the high level. So I will before that I will just show you what is the difference between layer 2 and layer 3 switch. So what I'm going to do 2960, this is a layer 2 switch and this is the multi-layer switch. So now I will just show you the difference. So as we said in the last one, so layer 2 switch we cannot do any routing. This will work based on the MAC address. This will work based on the MAC address and the IP address. And layer 3 we can do routing, right? So that I will show you here. So how we can verify this one? Go to CLI, enable config terminal, enable config T. So if you type ROU, give question mark. See here we cannot do any routing. If you go to multi-layer switch, we can do routing. So same way, enable config T. If you type ROU, then give question mark, then give question mark. See here we can do router OSPF, router BGP. So we can do all kind of configuration in the switch. So what I'm trying to say is layer 3 switch will act as a router. We have three types of mode. One is user mode, privilege mode, global configuration mode. User mode, we can do only the show command. We cannot do anything. So even if you want to do reload or if you want to do any debug command, that cannot be done into the user mode. Privilege mode is like a high level of user mode. Here we can do all show commands. If you want to reload the switch, we can do here. If you want to do any debug, so that we can do here. Global configuration mode is the high level of access. So high level of access means if you want to do any configuration or if you want to do anything, so all the things can be done into the global configuration mode. So I will just show you into the real. We are in the user mode. If you do reload, see there is no reload option. Okay, here we can mostly do show version kind of things we can do. If you want to do reload or debug, we need to go to the enable mode. Then if you do reload, it will see this command is coming and debug command will come here. So this is the difference. And if you want to do all kind of troubleshooting means all kind of configuration, we need to go to the config terminal. We can give shortcut as config tree. Here we can do it. So before going that, I will just show you how. So the first thing is we will see how to configure the host name, right? So for creating the host name, as I said, we need to go to the global configuration mode, then host name, then we can give the host name. So I'm going to give host name as demo, hit enter, the host name is done. Now we will create the enable password. So how to create a global configuration, type enable password, then we need to give the password. So I'm just going to give the password as one demo 123, come exit. And then if you don't want to do, see now it is coming you end, it is going to the domain server, right? So we need to wait until this connection is stops. So we don't want to do these things means we can do one thing like global configuration mode. We can do no IP domain lookup. If you give this command, so next time this will not be happen. So I will show you right away in this one. Go to config T, no IP domain lookup, hit enter. That's it. So now if you go come again, then same way I'm just going to give end. See now it is giving this error instead of going to the domain server. Okay, so now we need to create, we have created the enable password. So how to check it? Like, so go to enable, it is asking password demo at 123. Now we are into the privilege mode and the enable password is working. Okay, so now step 3, creating the VLAN. So how to create the VLAN is, again we need to go to configuration terminal, VLAN, then VLAN name 10. Okay, then we can give VLAN name any name, so just give name. We can give voice, so just assume this VLAN 10 we are creating for the voice. Okay, and if you want to assign any uh, interface to the specific VLAN, so before that I will just show you. Show VLAN, do show VLAN, hit enter. See, VLAN 10 is created and there is no interface is assigned, right? So if you want to assign any interface to this specific VLAN, is how to assign it? Like, we can go to here, exit, interface, fast ethernet 0/1. Okay, then switch mode access, then switch port access, VLAN 10, hit enter. Okay, then if you type do show VLAN, see, we have assigned this fast ethernet 0/1 into the VLAN 10. Okay, now for how to assign the, how to create the VLAN interface. So if you want to take, just assume, I will just show you one thing. So we can configure the switch from the two ways. One is from the physically. So physically means taking the switch from the console. From there we can configure, or we need to push the basic configuration from the switch. Then once the basic configuration is done, we can take this switch from the remotely from this PC. Just assume this PC is, this switch is located one branch office. As you are a network administrator, you are sitting in another branch office. So you want to configure this switch from another location, means how we can do is, like, we can configure some basic configuration to the switch. Once it is done, we can take the switch from the remotely. Then, by the way, if you want to know how to configure the router from scratch to the high level, the video is already available in our YouTube channel and the link will be given in the description and the iCard. So now what configuration we need to push it here is, we need to configure the IP address, because we can take the remote either SSH or Telnet. For that we need IP address, right? So here there is no IP address. So how to create the IP address is same way with global configuration. What we can do is, like, interface VLAN 1. So by default the VLAN 1 is the default one, so I'm going to create the IP address into the VLAN 1 itself. So interface VLAN 1, hit enter, then IP address, then give the IP address. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give 192.168.1.2 is the IP address, and this subnet mask I'm going to give 255 as a /24 subnet. So 255.255.0. No shut to bring up the interface. Okay, now it's done. Now if you type show do show IP interface brief, if you give here, see, VLAN 1 is created and this is the IP address. Okay, created the VLAN, we will try to see the reachability of this switch to this PC. So what we can do, we will go to the command prompt, type ping, then enter the IP address, so it is reachable, right? So now what, but we cannot try to take any SSH or telnet since the configuration is not pushed. We have configured the VLAN and we have assigned the name to that VLAN and created the VLAN interface and assigned the IP address. Now we will see how to configure the NTP server to sync up the clock. Okay, now if you type show clock, it will give some 1993, right? So we can set the clock manually. Instead of that, we can use NTP server as well. But in the normal enterprise network, enterprise organization, we won't set the clock as manually like in the set clock command. Generally we will keep one dedicated NTP server. From there we will do the clock synchronization. So that I will show you how I'm going to do. I'm going to take as a server here. From this server we can make this server as a NTP server. Okay, so what I'm going to do, we need to do some basic configuration. So first go to the server configure, then create the IP address. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give the IP address of 20 192.168.1.20, and subnet mask we can give 255.255.255.0 slash 24 subnet is fine. Okay, so now we need to go to the services,
address
go to the services, click NTP, then by default it is on, so just keep it as it is. And authentication, if you have enable, we need to give the key and password. Disable means we no need to give password, so we can keep as it is for disable now. So this one is done. So but we need to check the connectivity type. So what I'm going to do, going to this one, type ping and ping the server IP address. So first time it will take request timeout, then it will start pinging. Yeah, it is start pinging, right? So what I'm going to do, go to the switch config t NTP NTP server, then keep the server IP address. So what is the server IP address is 20, right? Then hit enter. Now if you do show clock, it will not sync because the clock will take some times to synchronize. To validate is do, or we can come exit and show NTP status. It should be sync. Okay, now it is unsynchronized, right? So once it is synchronized only, the time will be sync. For that sync it will take time, even though here we can see never updated, right? So we will wait couple of seconds to sync up. Now clock is synchronized and the last update time is 7 seconds ago, right? Now if you type show clock, it will give the correct time. See, it is giving, right? So now we will see how to configure the telnet, then we will see how to configure the SSH version 2. So telnet, why we are configuring is to access the switches from the remotely. So last time as I said, right? So if you want to take the PC from remotely, we cannot do. Now if I take telnet 192.168.1.2 is the switch IP address. If you see here 1.2, I'm just taking telnet, it is giving connection refuse, right? So what configuration we need to possess is very simple. Again, go to config t. So for that, first we need to create line VTY 0 to 4. So 4, what it see, maximum we have options to 15. So what is 4 is means maximum 4 user can have access, means 4 terminal section can be open at a one shot. So that is the one. So then we need to create the password. So last time we have created demo 123. Now I'm going to give demo at the rate 1234. Hit enter. Then transport input. Why we are giving input is for this switch it is input, so we are giving input. Okay, we can give all SSH telnet specifically, so we can give anyway, so I'm going to give input all. Okay, so do right to save the configuration. Now if you go to the PC, now try with this telnet configuration, it will come telnet. See, it is asking password, right? So enable password, it is asking. So just give demo 1234 123 demo. So now we are into the switch. If you type show version, we can validate. So what is the version of this switch? And if you want, if you type show user, okay, hit enter. See, we can see who's logging this switch and what is the IP address. See, the IP address it is giving 192.168.1.11, right? So if you see this switch PC IP address is 192.168.1.11, and the same one is giving here, right? So like this we can make sure. So which IP address this switch is login. So user command. Okay, now we will configure how to do SSH. Okay, so we can continue the same session, or we can go from this PC, or we can go to this console. So what I'm going to do, come exit. So first to create the SSH we need to create the domain. So go to global configuration, type IP domain. So we can give domain name anything. I'm just going to give simple networking as the domain name. Okay. So after that, we need to create the enable secret. Last time we have created the enable password. Now I'm going to create the enable secret. So same way, enable secret and give the password enable secret. I'm just going to give us hello is the enable secret. Hit enter. So I to create the SSH IP SSH version 2. See, if you not define any SSH, by default version 1 will be take here. So version 2. So after creating the SSH, we need to create the RSA key. So we what is the configuration is create crypto key generate RSA general then model, then we need to give the bits. So I'm going to give the bits as 512. Okay. So after that we need to create IP SSH timed out. Okay. So what is timed out means, if we give question mark 120 seconds means 2 minutes. If you opening the SSS session and if we are not doing anything, after sometimes we need to do sign out due to the security reason, right? Like example, you are opening an internet banking, if you're not using any the internet banking for sometimes, automatically the session will expire, right? So same things can be happen, can be set into the SSH session. So I'm just going to give us 2 or 3. So 3 means if you're not using this SSH terminal session for 3 seconds, automatically the session will be closed. So this is the one. Then IP SSH authentication retry means, if you're trying to logging SSH, first time failed, second time failed, that time it should be the session should be mean the window should close means we need to give 3. So maximum we have 5. So we can give as per the security requirement. So I'm just going to give us 3. Okay. So SSH configuration is done. So last time how we did for the line VTY configuration for Telnet, so same we need to do it for the SSH. So line VTY 024, hit enter, transport, input. Last time we gave all, right? So I'm just now going to give SSH. Okay. So this configuration is now done. So now going to the same PC, taking the SSH command prompt. Okay. SSH hyphen L, we need to give the username, right? So what is the username is the first name of the switch demo. Okay, demo. Then IP address 192.168.1.2 is the switch IP. Hit enter. It is asking password, right? So give demo 123. Okay, it's done. Now we have login to the switch. Give enable password demo 123. Okay, now we have logging the switch. Now I will just tell you for the security reason. Now if you type show run, hit enter. If you see here, service no service password encryption. So whatever we have given the password for enable password 123, it's giving us a plain text. Only the enable secret, because we have created the crypto key, right? So that is the reason enable secret key is the encrypted one, but enable password is the plain text. But generally this requirement wise, it should not be the plain text, right? Even this is also plain text. If someone sees the password, they can access the switches. To make the router, to make the switch safety, we need to create config t service password encryption. Now if you do hit enter, see now do show run. See now the last time, if you go up arrow, if I see now, if you see last time, it was showing the password demo at 123. Now it is giving the encryption one. Even if you see here, see it is giving the encryption one. Right? All right. So now we will do high level of one more thing. Now we have configured the telnet, configured the SSH. Now we are using the password as the local password, which password we have created here, right? But if you see the enterprise setup, we will not logging with our local username password. We will use our AD account using Tacacs or Radius server. Okay. So now I will show you how to configure the Tacacs server to access the SSH or Telnet, irrespective of anything. Okay. So
Use fa-
Now I'm going to use this server as a Tacacs server AAA. From this server, we can try to access this switch from this PC. Okay, we can do AAA configuration from layer 2 switch and layer 3 switch, but in Cisco Packet Tracer, layer 2 is not supporting. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create layer 3 switch and AAA configuration. From this switch, we can access from this PC. Okay, so just assume this multi-layer switch IP address is 192.168.1.3. So I'm going to do the basic configuration quickly. Okay, no enable config t. Okay, interface VLAN 1, interface VLAN 1, IP address 192.168.1.3. Then same subnet mask 255.255.255.0. No shut. Done. Coming out. Okay, we need to create the host name, right? So config t host name. So for this one we gave host name demo, so now I'm going to give demo 1. Okay, so demo 1 is the host name. We need to create the enable password. So enable password, so enable password we can give anything. Thank you, I'm just going to give us the enable password as thank you. Mm, basic configuration is done. Now we need to make sure this IP is reachable from this PC. So what I'm going to do, going to this one, ping 192.168.1.3. Okay, so the IP is reachable. Okay, so coming to the configuration for Tacacs. So what is the configuration? AAA new model, then AAA authentication logging, then we can give anything. This is the name which we are going to represent. So I'm auth is the name I'm going to give here. So same name we need to call out into the line vty configuration group. Then we can use radius and Tacacs. So here we are going to use Tacacs plus. Okay, then we need to give Tacacs, then Tacacs host, then Tacacs IP address. So what is the server IP address? Is 192.168.1.20, right? 192.168.1.20 is the IP address. Then we need to give the key. Okay, so the same key we need to give it here. So the key is I'm going to give is like Cisco here. Okay, so parallelly I will do the configuration for the server. Go to the server services, go to AAA, turn on, then client name. So client name we need to give the host name of the switch, demo 1, demo 1. Then IP address of this switch. So IP address of this switch is this one, right? 192 192.168.1.3 is the name. And secret key what we have given is the same secret key we need to give. So secret key we give it as Cisco. So I'm just going to use as Cisco here. Then service type is Tacacs because here we have configured as Tacacs. Click add. Here we can click create the username of the network administrator. So I'm just going to give David because David is the network administrator, and the password is admin at 123. Add. Done. Okay, server configuration is done. So we will continue the configuration. So AAA configuration is now done. So what we need to configure the line VTY configuration. Sorry, line VTY 024, then login authentication. So here we need to give this AUTH auth. Okay, same name we need to give it here. Then transport input all. Okay, exit and okay, write memory. Now if you type show AAA session, there is no session. We will try to access the switch from here. Okay, SSH, sorry, Telnet 192.168.3 1.3 is the IP address. 1.3. So here we need to give David is the username and admin at 123 is the password. It is asking the enable password. So enable password we have given is, what password we have given is thank you, right? So I'm going to use thank you password here. Yeah, so have logging the switch. If you see show version, okay, we can see the switch. Now if you see last time we have type show triple A session, no session, right? Now if you type see show triple A session, now it is giving username is David, then IP address is the system IP address. If you see here 192.168.1.11 is the system IP address. Okay, so we have, so in this way only we can configure the Tacacs server into the switch. Okay, so we have covered the all the items so far, and I hope you have enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching and please like and subscribe to our channel. If you have any points to add regarding this topic, please feel free to write your comments in the comment box to share the information to other audience. Also, you can drop the email. Thank you.